Welcome back to another episode of Didi Got a Podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Didi. I appreciate you all for tuning in for another live. This is my first live in like a month and a half, 2 months, man. What's up, everybody? My anticipation for today's live is probably going to be that a lot of people won't get notified for this live. We'll see what happens. One, I've been kicked out of the algorithm. But we'll get into that here in just a moment. Let me start off with some disclaimers. In today's video, we will be discussing, obviously, from the thumbnail and the title of the video, you know why you're here. We will be discussing the Karmelo Anthony video footage that got released. We'll be talking and discussing a little bit of the trial. We'll be debunking several lies from both sides, that being the people that defended Karmelo Anthony and the people that were rooting for Karmelo Anthony to be convicted. There were lies coming from both sides. We'll be debunking both of those, both sides. And I'll be giving my thoughts on the verdict and how I reached the opinion that I have on the verdict that was given to Karmelo Anthony. All right. And of course, we're going to, if I have enough time, I'll eventually get to some of the noise that's been chirping around Charlie Kirk and some updates, because now the Rode microphone holder deal has become a really big topic of discussion once again. So I'll give my thoughts on that. I haven't discussed anything Charlie Kirk in about maybe 2 months. It's been a while. I've loosely kept up here and there. It's a lot of details that I'm pretty sure I missed. But we'll get to that. Please hit the like button on your way in if I haven't said that already. That helps the video greatly. And I also want to state for the record that if you have not been getting notified of videos that I've been posting and you've been out of the loop, then I just recently dropped a video earlier today on the Michael Jackson biopic. And I give my thoughts on things that you may have missed, things I know for a fact was not included in the biopic or the documentary. And I give my reasons as to why. And a lot of the things are very controversial, but there are important things to know about Michael Jackson. All right. And so that's extremely important. This is the thumbnail. I just thought I should put that on the screen so that you all could be able to just get a glimpse of what that looks like. All right. Let's see here. I also want to say, before we get into today's episode, there is a flash merch sale taking place on the website, right? We have a sale going. I believe the sale is still happening. Some things are as much as 30% off. Go over there and just take a look. Link is in the description. Link is also in the description to the Michael Jackson video I just referenced. I also dropped a very, very strong and important video on OnlyFans in the adult entertainment industry. I'm exposing the history, the true history of OnlyFans in the adult entertainment industry that I can guarantee you most of you are not aware of. All right. We can all agree that it's a very disgusting industry, but I think you want to know where it originated from and what some of the true intentions behind it are that you may have never heard before. That can also be found in the description as well. I also just dropped a video on Oliver Tree and some weird things surrounding his death. He was a musician. Please check that out if you have not as of yet. All right. All righty. What is next up? I have a list of things here. I want to stay. Oh, yeah. I just want to discuss, I already briefly mentioned the shadow banning issue, not seeing my videos, something that I would encourage you all to do. Unless you intended to unsubscribe to my channel, I would encourage you to make sure that you're still subscribed. YouTube will unsubscribe you on their own without your knowledge. Make sure that you are still subscribed if you intended to still be subscribed to the channel. All right. So there's that. And I actually just remember something. I want to cover something here. Just give me a sec. Let me go to my channel. Let's see here. All righty. So let me share my screen here so you all can see this. All righty. All right. Hopefully you all can see that. About a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks ago now, As I've said, I've kind of been out of the loop here and there. I've posted here and there, but I haven't posted nearly enough. I've been taking some time to myself, handling some business in real life. But I'm back in the loop now. But anyways, I found some time to post this. It says Karmelo Anthony was found guilty of, you see the word there, for bringing a knife to a fist fight that the other guy started. Now let's see if Chud the Builder will be found guilty of attempted, you see the word, for bringing a gun to a fist fight that the other guy started. And I included the photos here, and I got a lot of backlash. As you can see here, I got more comments than likes on the post, and that is almost never a good sign when you have more people commenting than people that like the post. And a lot of the replies included people that were saying things like, what happened to Didi, and what do you mean by this, and how can you support Karmelo Anthony? He should be, it was the right decision to convict him. He's evil. And I'm sitting there like, reading apparently and comprehension is a virtue. Like, obviously, you people are struggling to understand this post. I never told you my opinion on either of those cases. What I'm saying is keep it consistent. You had one person who was touched by someone and decided to use a weapon that they already brought to the scene themselves. And they unfortunately either unalived the other person or they came close to unaliving the other person because they were touched, right? And so all I'm saying is, yes, the situations are not exactly identical, but they heavily what's the word that I'm thinking of? Favor one another, right? They have a lot of things in common. If you bring a weapon ahead of time, one could argue premeditation. Obviously, it depends on the situation. And then a person touched you and you defended yourself and you either unalived the person or came close to unaliving the person. Well, so far we have a person who has been convicted. Chud the Builder, in my opinion, based on the details, should also be convicted. I don't see the problem here. That's called consistency. That's called logic. Not to mention all the premeditation, the comments that Chud the Builder had been making prior to this, all the baiting of people that he had been doing for months prior to this, makes it even worse in his case. Right? So that was the statement. I want to sort of kick this off with stating that a lot of people did not like that post, obviously. And so what I've done is I've taken my time before I was scheduled to do a live, maybe I don't know, maybe a week and a half ago, maybe a week ago. And I was like, I'm going to just hold off before I actually talk about this because I hate tribalism. The truth of the matter is, in 2026, it is very difficult to find objective, unbiased news reporting. It's out there, but it's very difficult because someone always has an agenda, right? Whether it be based on race, whether it be based on politics, whether it be based on, something else, sex, gender. People always have, motives, their own motives and agendas as to why they're doing things. And so it's made it difficult to actually get the facts of the case. So I said, before I even speak on this and give my thoughts on it, let me look more into this case and try to find some objective things. All right. Something else I want you all to notice is that the video footage that everybody's been asking for what, about a year now, regarding the Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf incident, they've been asking for the police body cam footage. They've been asking for the dash cam footage. They've been asking for any cell phone footage. And they conveniently decided to release the police footage and some of the 911 calls, even though some of it, I believe, was previously available. They decided to release these things, wait for it, on Juneteenth. Because as I stated before, it's all about division. Whether a person is guilty or not, they have to make sure that they do certain things strategically to stir up the most division. I also want to note that the attorney for Karmelo Anthony is also the attorney for a middle-aged woman that I covered on my second channel called Didi Got Politics, who was completely in the wrong, that being this black lady who was pulled over by a police officer, made a complete fool of herself. Go and check that video out when you get a chance. That channel is linked on my home page of this channel. It's called Didi Got Politics. Same attorney, even though she's completely in the wrong, which once again proves that these people have agendas to push racial division in this country, right? And a lot of people don't care about that because they are beholden to just protecting their race, whether they be black folks, white folks, or the likes. So I want to first I want to play a couple of clips of exactly what I mean when I say people who murk up the waters, right? They make things very, very hard to understand what objective truth is regarding this case. And the first clip is going to be Karmelo Anthony's own attorney, right? Let's see what Karmelo Anthony's own attorney had to say when they asked him about the video footage that was released.
And that they were able to see him getting jumped. I couldn't see that. So I was wondering if you guys saw something different.
No, it's not I didn't see that with that video. No. I didn't see him. I didn't see him getting jumped. Oh, you know what I mean? Like I saw movement over there. I saw that there was multiple people around him.
This is his own attorney saying this. Unless I'm understanding this incorrectly, his own attorney is saying he wasn't jumped. That's not what was shown on the video footage, which we will get to the video footage here in just a moment.
But I didn't see he was getting, you know what I mean, like the altercation. No.
Oh. And I didn't say that he was jumped. It just looks like more than one person body is moving under that tent, and it looked like more than one body is standing up, and it looked like movement from more than just one person. I didn't say they jumped him. I didn't say those words. I said that it was more than one person that looks like they were standing up. The kids all testified that all of them were sitting down. They said none of us was standing up. The only person that was standing up was Austin. They said all of us sat down the entire time. We all was telling him to get our tent. We don't belong here. Yeah, right. You don't got nothing in that bag. Whoopty whoop. However, that video looks like more than just Austin is standing up, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it appears that way as well. But as I said before, we'll get to that. Thank you for correcting me. That was actually not his attorney. And I was actually looking into that. And once the guy started speaking, the person that clipped it for me told me it was his attorney speaking. That's definitely not Karmelo Anthony's attorney. All right. So I do apologize for that. I thought that was his attorney that was going to be speaking. All right. So thank you for that. And now we're going to get into the second clip that just makes things like weird. This is the video that I'm about to play here. I believe this is an attorney that is speaking with Willie D. Willie D is a member of one of the more vintage rap groups in hip hop history. I forget the name of the rap group, but Willie D, his video went viral. I mean, he did a lot of views, man. Like, I'm pretty sure it's like well over 500,000 now with this attorney. And I want to play just a snippet of what I mean when I say if people don't do their own research, they're quick to go to YouTubers. They're quick to go to just other content creators or influencers to get their opinions on topics instead of doing their own research. And this is showing the danger of how people get their media and their news in 2026, even though to say media has been pushing propaganda for years anyways, even on the major networks. But anyways, here's the clip.
Straight. I can give you the facts straight. And basically, you have a dead body, you got a confession, you have a murder weapon, and you have dozens of witnesses who saw it happen. On top of that, you have some video footage, you have confessions. It's all bad. This young man was going to prison. The only people that think Karmelo wasn't going to prison are regular lay folks. The judge knew it, the DAs knew it, Lawyers all across America knew it. Anybody who's hell, you can go to the penitentiary, and most of them will say, "Yeah, we knew he was gonna go to prison. It was too much."
Who didn't know he was going to prison? Yeah. Not based on the evidence, based on the fact that he being tried in Collin, racist ass 53% white county, and this is a black boy accused of killing a white boy. This is why everybody knew he was going to get railroaded, and you got not an all-white jury, but a jury that's comprised of not one black person in a racially charged case. Come on, man. The prosecutor, the judge, supposed to be the judge. Got to say, no, man, we ain't gonna let that happen. The prosecutor got to be like, man, let me just get 1 or 2 in here, so when I get my conviction, they won't be able to come back on appeal with it. Come on, man. You can't go in there. You can't do a racially charged case like this, man, and not have one black person on that. Well, you got a black person being accused of killing a white person in America. Hell no, man. White people ain't not non-biased. They just not. They've shown us time and time again they cannot be non-biased in these type of situations.
Willie, let's do this. Let's flip the script. Let's say this trial happened in Harris County. And
this is where Willie D is going to expose himself, because if he was truly objective, then the answer to this question that this attorney is asking him should serve as a great opportunity for him to prove that he's objective. Listen to this very fair question and listen to what Willie D says as a response.
Got an all-black jury in Harris County, and we're gonna remove the race of the defendant, and matter of fact, we're gonna make them both black. Do you think an all-black jury would have convicted a black defendant who killed another black boy because he pushed him, stabbed him in the chest?
No.
Here in Texas.
First of all, you okay? Say it again. You said an all-black.
If we got a black judge, this is a hypothetical, because the internet, they won't hype. What if this? Okay, fine. Yeah. My position is that an all-black jury with a black judge, black prosecutor, black defense attorney, a black defendant, black victim, they would have still found this young man guilty of murder because he killed somebody. You killed a black boy, killed another black boy. You don't think it stabbed him in the chest for pushing him? You don't think that an all-black jury would find murder?
Of course they would. Of course they would. They would convict him of something, and most likely it will probably be the same outcome.
I say maybe not. He got a better chance with an all-black jury. He got a much better chance of getting a fair trial with an all-black jury. So answer that, Dennis. Would he have had a better chance if he had an all-black jury as opposed to the one he had?
He would still have been convicted of murder, in my opinion.
Yes, like let me make sure that I say yes. Is it possible that some of those white folks, and I believe it was a few Asian people as well, that were on the jury? From my understanding, there were no African Americans on the jury pool, but that's not necessarily a correlation to him being found innocent. And in fact, if it is, then that would be wrong, because simply because a person has the same skin color as another person should not be the reason that they find the person or the in this particular case the predator not guilty or innocent, right? That should not be automatic. And if you're that comfortable with admitting that on camera, then I think you're exposing yourself in real time. Again, yes, is it possible that some of these people on the jury pool could be racist? They don't care what the facts say. Yes, I agree. But if you notice at the very beginning, Willie D said the first thing he said as a response was, I don't care. He said, yes, it is a guarantee that he was going to be found guilty, not because of the evidence, but because based on where he was found guilty at and what the jury looked like, right? So in other words, he completely disregarded what the evidence said. If the evidence spoke to the fact that this man was guilty, deal with the evidence, which we're going to get to here in just a moment, because Willie D in this interview with this attorney, I learned a lot. And I also was confused even more because once again, there's truth, there's facts, and then there's a lot of rumors and conspiracy theories. So there's a few things I want to debunk in today's video, I did a little bit of research, and I want to talk about a little bit of what's true and what's not true. Right. So it's been very difficult to put that together. One of the first lies I want to debunk regarding the Karmelo Anthony trial is that they said that the case received no national media coverage, which we know that that's not true, because the case was covered by major national and regional outlets pretty much from when it first started up until the trial. I mean, they were pushing this quite a bit. So you can't use that to defend Karmelo or even to attack Karmelo, right? Regardless of where you fall with it, I mean, it's just not true. Another thing I wrote down, I wanted to make sure that I cleared up. They said that the Metcalf family were close friends with the judge. Now, that right there, I thought was true because I was seeing it in comment sections on just about every video that I clicked under. And I was like, man, this must be true because most people are saying it. Let me look into it. And let me pull this up so I make sure I get this right. Because from my understanding, this is not true. It says, fact check. Photo doesn't show Austin Metcalf's dad with judge DA involved in Karmelo Anthony trial. Now, man, so many ads. Sheesh. Let me see if I can fix this. Bro, what in the world is going on? What is going on? Can you all see me? Because I'm... Okay, my entire computer is glitching. Let's see if you all can see this. Fact check. It does not show Austin Metcalf with the judge. And this is the photo that was kind of going viral. If you all, let me check, make sure you all can still hear me. Man, what is going on? Hey, put a 1 in the chat if you all can see me. It says that I'm delayed. Okay. Okay. Y'all can see me and hear me now. Okay, cool. Okay. So this was the photo that went viral. But as you can see here, it says claim. A photograph authentically shows Austin Metcalf's father, Jeff Metcalf, who we're going to get to later. We're going to end the video with a video that Jeff Metcalf put out after the gag order was released. And we're going to take a video. We're going to take a look at a viral video of Austin Metcalf's dad, what he said about Karmelo, the black community, and his thoughts on the trial. It says a photograph authentically shows Austin Metcalf's father, Jeff Metcalf, standing at a party with Judge John Roach, who presided over the case of the teen who unalived Austin Metcalf, and Collin County District Attorney Greg Willis. And once again, here's the photo. All right. It says here, let me make sure I get this right. Let me zoom in a little bit. Context. Judge John Roach and District Attorney Greg Willis are not in the image. Roach denied knowing the Metcalf family personally, while Willis shares no identifying features with the men in the image. Besides Metcalf, we are unable to determine the identities of the other people pictured. Right? So, boom. That right there alone clears up that rumor. So it is not true that they, according to these articles that I've seen, including the one we just read, it is not true that Austin Metcalf's father or the Metcalf family knew the judge, which is what I was seeing all over the place. All right. And I think it's very important that we differentiate what's true and what's not. Let's substantiate some truth here. All right. Another thing was the Carmelo Anthony's family bought a new house with the money that they got from the basically the donation money, and that's unproven, and you know that's pretty much been debunked as or proven to be false. All right, so that's not true. I also looked into if Carmelo Anthony's family bought a Cadillac Escalade after receiving donations. Again, maybe since the verdict has come out, this is not as important anymore. But again, I want to just go down the list. There's about 10 things here. I'm about halfway through of just I want to debunk what's true and what's false, right? What's fact and what's fiction. And it's showing here that no, that is not true. They did not buy an Escalade with the donation money. My understanding is that they had some of these things well before this case. All right. The next thing is there was a leaked autopsy report that quote unquote proved some hidden facts regarding what truly happened to Austin Metcalf. And that was also debunked as well. I have a link here that I could read it, but I'm not going to waste time on that. Not right now. The next thing, which is going to lead us to the video footage, it says Carmelo Anthony was jumped by multiple people before the incident took off. That's what we've been hearing all over the place. And my understanding is that this is also not true. My understanding is that this is not true. Based on what we saw, at the very least, we cannot prove that, right? At the very most, we can prove that it did not take place. At the very least, you can't prove that it did. All right. I just care about the facts here. All right. Another thing I heard, which is something that we just acknowledged earlier based on what Willie D was saying and so many other people were saying, they said that Carmelo Anthony was only found guilty because he was a black kid. Don't buy it, because I believe the hypothetical scenario that was presented to Willie D is a fair one, which is to say, if these were two black boys and the same incident took place, would they find the Carmelo Anthony guilty? I believe they still would. I believe they would. All right. A lot of people were saying that Carmelo Anthony was sentenced to death or could have received the death penalty. And this is also not true. This is false, because Carmelo Anthony at the time was 17. At the time of the offense, obviously he was in the 12th grade. And under U.S. law, the death penalty cannot be imposed for crimes committed by juveniles. I don't know if people know that. So therefore, he was sentenced to 35 years in prison, and a lot of people were not happy with that. People defending Carmelo was not happy with it. People that believe that Carmelo Anthony should have been found guilty were also not happy with it, as they believe that 35 years was not nearly long enough. All right, because he'll be up for parole after, I believe, or probation after he served a certain percentage of that time. All right. The next thing I want to debunk is people have been claiming that the self-defense claim was never actually considered during the trial. And this is not true, man. The central defense strategy during the trial was literally self-defense. That's what they argued, as most of us know. But I saw a lot of people arguing that they didn't do a good enough job arguing that, but they did. They did argue that, right? And the jury considered it. And obviously, as we know, they ultimately considered that he didn't have a case for self-defense, right? After we'll get to the video footage, you'll see, based on what the jury saw, their argument was and still is that Carmelo Anthony, there were other alternatives or other methods, or the measure that Carmelo Anthony chose to take was a little bit too extreme, right? I don't want to get ahead of myself before we get to the footage. All right. And the last thing I want to debunk is they claim that Carmelo, and this right here probably infuriated me the most, arguably the most. A lot of people are arguing that Carmelo Anthony, after the situation took place, he ran away from the track meet and tried to hide. That's not what happened. And we're going to see that on the video footage. Yes, he ran away from the tent, right? And people argue, well, why would you do that? Well, you did just stab someone, whether you're in the right or the wrong. If this is your first time doing that, that is a pretty extreme and pretty scary, situation to be a part of. Not to defend Karmelo. I'm just saying if you were to place yourself in the same situation, you probably will want to remove yourself as well, to be fair. But he did not run away from the track meet. He never did. He never left the grounds. In fact, we're going to see on the video footage that he ran around. He's going to come around and he's going to connect with the coach, a person that appears to be a coach. He could have jumped the fence and ran off the property, which, by the way, was a school property. People arguing that he should not have brought a knife or a weapon or a cleat cleaner or whatever it is to school property. While I agree that he should not just be casually carrying around a knife, he was not on school property. I do want to clear that up as well. All right. And so with that, I want to go ahead and move over to the footage. I believe this is it. And that is correct. It says, here's the entire sequence of events. In this video, you'll see Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony enter the stadium. You'll see Anthony entering the tent leading up to the attack and the aftermath, including body cam footage of his arrest. So let's take a look. So as we can see here, this is Austin Metcalf entering the stadium. And so obviously Austin Metcalf, there's no argument being made by anybody, but just so that we're clear, Austin Metcalf is with a group of other people, at least two individuals, as we saw before. Okay. And we're going to watch this all the way through. We're going to watch the entire 11 minutes so that there's no confusion. Okay, and as it says here on the screen, this is Karmelo Anthony entering from the left end, of the stadium in a gray hoodie. He appears to be by himself. He's wearing a backpack. And as we can, it's very hard to tell with this grainy image or the grainy footage, but as a reminder, it is sprinkling or raining outside. All right. So they are in inclement weather. Hence the tents that are stationed on the bleachers. Karmelo Anthony enters the tent. It says Austin Metcalf appears to move next to Karmelo Anthony. Yes, as we can see, we did just see a figure stand up and walk back towards Karmelo Anthony. He is now sitting next to Karmelo Anthony. Three minutes later, the attack happens. We do see a shove, as you all can see there. Hopefully you all were able to see that. It appears that Austin Metcalf did shove Karmelo Anthony. Let's play that back again. There's the shove. It looks like a shove back. And then something happens there. And Karmelo Anthony is out. It seemed to happen pretty fast. So he takes off, and this is where people were claiming that he left the grounds. No, he never left the grounds. He runs there. He stops. He waits. Now he's walking. He's running again. He's walking, and it appears that people are just pointing him out like, hey, here's the guy. This is what he just did. He just did X, Y, and Z. And so instead of continuing to walk, I mean, he could have left the grounds there. But my understanding is he turned in. And I've seen many people arguing that Carmelo Anthony appears to have been looking for an authority figure, maybe a coach, right? Maybe some sort of administrator. I can't say what he was doing intentionally or not, but what I do know is that he did not leave the grounds when he had the opportunity to do so. He's still walking here. Still walking, and he's sort of like coming back towards where everything took place. And I guess some coach called out to him, some adult authority figure maybe called out to Carmelo Anthony. He turns around and he walks up on him. All right. Now, that right there, I want to just 327. We're going to come back to this. I want to show you all something. So I actually saw someone defend saying that Carmelo Anthony seemed to be cooperating the entire time. But from my understanding, I'm going to show you a close-up of what it looked like he did. And it's not good. It's not good at all. It appears that he either swung on the coach, he pushed off of the coach. It was some sort of aggressive motion. Here it is closer up. As you can see here, the coach approaches him. He goes over towards the coach. And as you'll see, watch this, wait for it. What is that? What was that? All right. Let's play that back again. Whoa. That was pretty aggressive, man. Wow. Yeah, that looked like he swung up at the coach or something. Like he threw an elbow or something. Very, very interesting. Very confusing. All right. All right. So this is right after he appears to have swung at the coach and maybe or the adult here. And they're speaking. It looks like he's pointing towards where everything took place. And by this point in time, it's clear that everybody knows what's taking place. They knows that everybody appears to know that something is wrong. So Carmelo Anthony is being walked right back down to where everything took place. Here they are here. So now they're back by where the tent is. So is he by himself again? Or is the adult figure still with him? Okay, the adult figure is still with him. And they're waiting. I also want to just say that something else I saw people doing is they were defending the fact that Carmelo Anthony wasn't super aggressive here. He wasn't combative. He wasn't trying to run away. He was seeming to be cooperative. While I understand where people will come from with that, my thing is, I mean, you've already done the deed at this point. You know, you brought a weapon with you. Someone pushed you and you decided to pull out a weapon and you decided to stab this person in the chest. Right? I mean, you can't get out of that. There were several people that were around. We'll get into what was alleged to have taken place under the tent in just a moment. But that's something I wanted to address. People were praising Carmelo Anthony for, sticking around and cooperating with the adults on the scene. And now they're walking back down.
Hold on. And I'm protecting myself. If somebody is shooting the victim, they need to be over there. Under a memorial tent. Don't reach for anything, all right, man? Stop right there for me. Dispatch 443. I got the suspects, and they're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium. All right. Any weapons on you like that? I'll look here.
That's something I found interesting. Of all things, he had on an Essentials Fear of God shirt. Could it mean nothing? Sure, but I thought that was interesting. I also think it's interesting. Some people may feel like this is a reach, but I don't know if there's something going on with the basketball player, Carmelo Anthony, but it seems like his legacy has pretty much been tarnished and erased because for those of you that don't know, we're not going to digress too much here, but I dropped a video talking about how sports are rigged. There's no question about it from the perspective of sports betting and completely other methods and means as well. But Carmelo Anthony, the basketball player, he started his career with the Denver Nuggets and he wore the number 15. Well, as we all know, if you're a sports fan and you follow basketball, Nikola Jokic is the greatest Denver Nugget of all time, and he just so happens to be wearing the number 15 as well. So that kind of tarnishes Carmelo Anthony's legacy because that number will be retired, but it won't be for Carmelo Anthony. Another thing that's interesting is that the New York Knicks just won the championship this year. And if a lot of this sounds completely unrelated or not connected, you should really go and check out my video that I dropped about a week or two ago. But Carmelo Anthony played for the New York Knicks. And as you know, with Jalen Brunson just winning the championship, that sort of kicks Carmelo Anthony into the background as well. Well, this is another way that Carmelo Anthony, the basketball player, has been taking another L because now we have this kid, Carmelo Anthony, with the same exact name. And now he has this sort of unfortunate incident always attached to his name. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
And they're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium. All right. Any weapons on you like that?
4-4, copy, I'll be in route.
Y'all back up a little bit. Come over here for me. Come over here.
447,
I'm gonna put your handcuffs for now, okay, bud? Dispatch 443. Everybody can slow down. I got the alleged suspect in handcuffs right now, detained.
Everyone else can slow down. Suspects detained in handcuffs.
Hold on. You can open up the channel, and medics are clear to come in. Have them come to the northeast entrance. That's gonna be a gate that's wide open there, and then you come to the victim from there. This is the alleged suspect. All right.
Dispatch is 432.
Okay. We'll figure that in a minute. So nothing on your person at all? Nothing? Mind if I read?
I was trying to listen because I know at some point he's going to say, I told him not to touch me. I told him not to put his hands on me.
Reaching your pockets and stuff and all that? Nothing gonna stab me? Okay.
I'm going to be out with this.
I'm gonna get a little personal there, okay? Just to make sure. Okay. All right. The victim's going to be underneath that tent over there, so I'll get medics. Memorial tent over there, guys. All right.
He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
And there it is right there. So I did not miss it. He said he put his hands on me. I told him not to put his hands on me. I saw different reactions to this statement. Most people thought that this was pretty genuine, in the sense of they thought he really meant that. Black Conservative Perspective, another YouTuber. I just watched his video and he said he believes these are crocodile tears coming from Karmelo. I don't understand why he believes that. Because whether Carmelo Anthony is wrong or right here, I don't know how we have evidence to say that these are crocodile tears. I mean, the kid is just 17.
Victim is over here on the north end. They got staff standing to him right now. This is the alleged suspect. Already? No. We searched them. Got nothing on him.
I don't know what happened.
423. Trackers everything about CPR progress for a little bit.
Crazy.
You know, that's the wrong thing.
Crazy.
Sorry, over here. Up to you. It's up to you.
That's fine. This is closer.
Let me do one more little check of you, okay? You don't mind for reaching your pockets, anything like that? You good?
You're just wearing this one pair of pants?
I'm wearing some little underpants.
Well, yeah, but there's no
Like,
pockets.
no, ma'am, I don't think so.
What's your name, man?
I also find it interesting how men are checked compared to women. Men get I mean, they go all through our hoodie, our pants, our underwear. And I watch women get patted down. I'm like, bro, it's a complete big difference. They don't care how they touch men, whether it's a man or a woman touching them. That's crazy to me. Again, I think it's necessary to thoroughly check people, but I think it needs to be across the board. I've watched so many cop videos where women will barely get patted down. I'm like, bro, what is this about? Even if it's a woman, even the way they check themselves, I'm like, bro, it's a couple of places. I remember a few years ago, I went to this party and this girl had a whole bottle of tequila inside the party. I was like, where did you get that from? And how do you have that over here? And she was like, I hid it in my, you know where, in my boobs. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, they don't check me for real. Yeah. And that was a pretty strict place we were at.
Hey, man.
Karmelo Anthony, Karmelo.
430, show me out.
Crazy.
All right, man. Well, there's that, you know. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And as I anticipated, this is my first live in like 2 months. We got like 200 people in the room, not very many people at all, but I appreciate you all for tuning in as well, for sure. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Share this video with someone. Like this is part of the reason why it was like so hard to cover this case, because even now you have different opinions in the chat. Even like people saying they jumped them, and there's people that's defending them, people not defending them. It's all over the place. Yeah, this is what it appears to look like to me. And I'm gonna get to my thoughts on the verdict here in just a moment. But first, I also want to share. I actually should have kept my screen shared so that I can show you all part of the reason confusion is so prevalent right now, if you're not careful and do your own research. So this is Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed, for those of you that don't know, I'm pretty sure Tariq Nasheed is pretty progressive. Maybe he's conservative and I'm misunderstanding. I could be wrong about that, and forgive me if I am. He says distant security footage has been released of Karmelo defending himself from Austin Metcalf attacking him. As you can see in the video, Karmelo was surrounded under the tent with no way to escape. As Austin was standing over Karmelo attacking him, Karmelo neutralized the threat using self-defense. And Karmelo had to run up the stairs to escape further danger because he was boxed in from running down the stairs. This is clearly self-defense. And this is the footage that he's using, which is once again really, really grainy footage. You can see he's back there. Austin pushes him. He pushes back. And I guess that's where it takes place. And that happened really fast. He hopped out of there really, really fast. But what I wanted to share is the response. Someone fact-checked them and said, Grok, what logical errors is Tariq making in post? Is he being illogical or lying about this case in general? Grok says Tariq overinterprets distant, blurry footage that lacks detail on actions inside the tent. It does not clearly show Karmelo surrounded with no escape or Austin standing over him attacking. Enhanced video and trial evidence indicate he was not swarmed. Jury saw videos, witnesses verbal dispute, Metcalf push, Anthony retrieving a knife, stabbing Metcalf in chest, then fleeing. They rejected self-defense, convicted him of you know what, sentenced to 35 years. Body cam shows him admitting the act. Body cam shows him saying a couple of things. I don't know if it was admitting to what the argument is about here. I thought this was interesting because there's a lot of people under Tariq Nasheed's post that agrees with Tariq Nasheed, right? And this is part of the reason why I stayed away from it, because I'm like, it's all over the place. And then like the way it works in this country is every state has their own laws, right? Some states are more pro-guns. Some states are not. Some states are stand your ground, like I believe Florida, I believe Texas maybe. And some are not as pertinent on those things, So it's a lot harder to just know what's what, especially when you have people who are biased. And I'm like, I don't even know what to think anymore, And I'm typically the one that reports on some of these things first, or I should say objectively with the facts. But this is one of those cases that baffle me. All right. Somebody said that they believe this was supposed to be a ritual, but Karmelo saved himself. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Let me go back to my list because I do want to. I remember now. I want to show you all what Jeff Metcalf, before I give you all my thoughts on what happened and what I believe, or on the verdict. I want to show you all. what Lee Merritt said. Lee Merritt, I believe this is the attorney for, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this is the attorney for, let me make sure. So annoying. Let me see. That's so funny. It's so hard to get the answer right away because of the basketball player Carmelo Anthony. Like, just tell me who his attorney was. Michael Howard? Was it Michael Howard? Let me see what you all are saying. Let me just go to the chat. What was Carmelo Anthony's attorney's name? I'm pretty sure it was Michael. Was it Michael Howard? I totally agree with this, but again, we'll get to that. But I just hope you all have the same energy for Chud the Builder. It seems to me when I bring that up, people are upset. They believe that if a guy punches you or pushes you, then you have the right to pull out your pistol and unalive that person or attempt to unalive that person. That was totally fine. But with this case, it seems that people, okay, Howard. Okay, fine. Well, this person here, Lee Merritt, says the gag order lifted and the mask came off with it. After sentencing, Austin Metcalf's father, Jeff Metcalf, went live on TikTok and was caught on a racist rant about Carmelo Anthony, including calling him a quote-unquote watermelon felon, saying black people get, quote, all the free stuff we give you, claiming 400 years ago someone sold you to us, and attacking black fathers for not being involved in their children's lives. This is the same man who stood in that courtroom and said this was never about race. The prosecution struck every qualified black juror from the panel. A gag order silenced public response for nearly a year. And the moment the muzzle came off, this is who he showed us he was. Carmelo Anthony did not get a fair trial, and now the victim's own father has confirmed in his own words what this community has known from the beginning. So let's take a listen to what he said. And for the record, I have not listened to this in full.
Racist up yuck and go viral. I got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such this little boy y'all were trying to portray. How about watermelon felon? How's that one strike you? Make something racist up yuck and go viral. I got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such this little boy y'all were trying to portray. How about watermelon felon? How's that one strike you?
What I would say is, being an empathetic person, if you just lost your son or your kid, I would argue that there's a lot of worse things that most parents would say. Not to just defend him to be able to say what he wants, but I'm an objectively fair person. I know people that would not only say, but probably do a lot worse than what he just said. Okay, fine. Watermelon felon. You can say it's racist. It buys into the stereotypes about black folks, which, by the way, my favorite fruit is watermelon. By the way, I just had some right before we went live today, and I'm going to have some once I get off live. It just happens to be my favorite food altogether. So that stereotype actually applies to me. But something I noticed about this video is that 11 up there. We've spoken about this in Freemasonry with the twin pillars, right? The twin pillars is extremely prevalent in Freemasonry. And if you notice right below, they have the M. Why is that necessary? You say, well, because it's for Metcalf. Well, they have Metcalf up top. Why do you need to put the M right under the double ones? We spoke about this with the Twin Towers situation. The Twin Towers can also be seen as Masonic pillars, right? As once again, you see the M right below the 11. Those 11s symbolize or could symbolize twin pillars, right? But there's a longer video as well.
Because the gag order is lifted. Tiffany Billions, Wackadoo, McAdoo, whatever her last name is. I'm not going to throw insults at you because I'm not going to lower myself to your level. But you're despicable. Drew Anthony, Kayla, you're cowards. You wouldn't even show up for your son's sentencing or victim statement impact. You abandoned your kid.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. You didn't show up to the victim statements or for the sentencing of your own kid. Whether you believe he was guilty or not, how do you abandon your own kid? How do you how does anybody justify that? That's crazy.
You left him there. I guess he's no more use to you because you can't get any more GoFundMe money or GoSendGo money. You are grifters. You should be ashamed of yourself. You raised that child, and I swear to God, CPS should come check on those other 3 that you still have. You never once admitted or took accountability. You tried to play victim. The real victim is the one who died, not the one who shoved a knife in his chest. I come to pray with you and show the world we can close the gap of this unbelievable racial divide. And what'd you do? You widen the gap even further. You hire a convicted baby-shaking felon who's only in it for the money, who gives you bad advice, kicks me out of a press conference. Oh, funny, I was somewhere I wasn't supposed to be, but I left when asked. I didn't stab anyone.
A lot of people were upset about this. I don't see anything wrong with what he said. How is he wrong for this? He spoke facts. They didn't show up for the victim impact statements. They did not show up for the sentencing of their own child. It is true that he showed up to pray with them, bro. And he got kicked out of the event. I remember that early on. Right? I remember people were upset with me early on. Like, this is well before a lot of you all found my channel. This was last year. A lot of people were upset with me because I said that since we don't have the footage, if it is true that these 2 boys, Austin Metcalf and his brother, jumped on Karmelo Anthony simply for being under a tent, which, by the way, people keep repeating, why didn't Karmelo Anthony just get up and leave the tent? He didn't have to. It wasn't school property. It doesn't matter if that tent was reserved for another school. It's public property. Unfortunately, he has the right legally to be there. Should he be respectful and not sit there? Sure. But he's not legally bound from sitting there. That's just the law. He has the right to be there. And simply him, but I don't want to, I'm getting into my final statements. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Where was the father wrong here? Right? It is true that they played victim. Right? Somebody said, I don't have all the facts. You want to come on live right now and give me the facts because you've been commenting quite a bit and I'm not upset at you. Come on live. Shoot me an email. And I haven't been checking my email as much often. I'll have my assistant to send you the link right now. Come on live. Send me the email with the same name that you have here in the caption or the subject line. Right? Because I'm based on your comments throughout this live, I'm assuming that you support Karmelo Anthony. Love you too. So, my thoughts. Early on, I was suspicious that this was some sort of Freemasonic orchestrated ritual. I am still not so sure if it was or was not. They typically use race because they are, black and white. You got polarity there, opposites. My thoughts are this. You should not put your hands on a person simply because of words that they said to you, simply because they are doing something that you don't like. You should not put your hands on another person. And yes, this goes to Austin Metcalf. Rest in peace to Austin Metcalf. And I send condolences to his family. You do not put your hands on a person because you cannot control what that person does in return, even if what they do in return is illegal. You put yourself in the best situation or scenario when you don't put your hands on other people. Go get an adult. If he's sitting there, he's not supposed to be sitting there. You don't want him there. If he's causing commotion, if he's disrupting things, go and get an adult. You don't put your hands and shove another person because you don't know how they're going to retaliate. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know how mentally unstable they are, right? I also, with that being said, believe that simply because a person pushed you does not give you the right to then go in your backpack or your book bag, pull out a cleat cleaner, a blade, a knife. I saw the images. It appears to be a knife. And not only do you use a weapon when the guy only shoves you, appeared to shove you, I'm going to be responsible because the images were blurry, but it did appear that he was only shoved. You do not have the right to pull out a weapon and stab someone in the chest. You do not. I would much rather you have not even brought the knife to begin with. Not that it's illegal, but it just does not look good. I would have much rather, if you're going to use a weapon, you shouldn't. Cut him on the arm, right? A little small cut on the arm. You're going to get in trouble for it, but that kid does not lose his life, and you don't lose yours either by way of prison, right? To make the conscious decision to go in your book bag, and of all the places on the body, to all the things to do, even if you just pulled it out to threaten them, to actually follow through immediately and go directly for the chest, which almost immediately resulted in this kid losing his life, makes you wrong. I heard people early on arguing that it may have been manslaughter. And even right now, in all honesty, objectively, I don't know. Obviously, that probably can't be argued because the jury didn't find that to be so, but they have the right to appeal, and maybe appeal. They find that maybe it was manslaughter. And the reason I say that is because they can make the argument, did he intend to unalive someone? Was it premeditation? To argue murder is to argue that this guy showed up and intended to unalive a person. And I don't see that here. But I don't know. I am humble enough. I'm smart enough. I'm wise enough to say that I don't know here. I do believe that Karmelo Anthony should have been convicted of something, and the jury thought that it should be murder. I'll let you all argue if it should have been 35 years, should have been a life sentence, should have been longer, shorter. You all can argue that yourselves. But you cannot pull out a blade and stab a person in the chest. And just to be devil's advocate, if you will, which makes you advocating for the devil, it's going to be very difficult to argue that you weren't trying to unalive this person by stabbing them in the chest, of all places. Right? So this is my roundabout way of saying I agree with the attorney at the very beginning. I guarantee that most attorneys probably knew that Karmelo was cooked the moment these details came out about this case. My mom just texted me Happy Father's Day. She said, even though I'm not a father yet, that's so sweet. I'm going to assume that this is sarcasm. Yeah, man. So let me make sure all that covers my notes for this. It does. Did my research. I did enough research. Could I have done more? Sure. But I think I saw more than enough to decide Karmelo Anthony is guilty here. Right? And the problem is tribalism. Because there's so much racial division, people are going to want to know the races of the people that's committed to the I don't know why this word is escaping me for this video. The assailant, if you will, and the victim. Right? The perpetrator and the victim. So there's that, man. Those are my thoughts. Hey, Miss Elaine. Good to see you. Glad you were able to catch this live. First time in a while. I'm about to build myself back up and try to get back into the algorithm. As most people will miss this live, but that's fine. We love the grind over here. It's all fine. It's all good. Could his attorney have done a better job defending him? Sure, maybe. But you can't do that, bro. Hit him in the face, right? I'm not advocating violence or anything, but I'm saying do anything but that. Why'd you go in your bag, bro? You know, I hate this for both sides. It's as it pertains to the families, but there are consequences to your actions, man. You know. So there's that. Didn't realize this was going to take almost an hour and a half just to cover this, but I covered it. A lot of people was wanting to hear my thoughts on it, and I'm probably going to have to clip this and make it into a video, either on my clips channel or on this channel, so people will be able to catch it. Renee says she got the notification, but I have another channel so that I'm able to know if other people are notified when I go live. So I always use that channel to see if that channel will be notified. And I did not get notified that I was going live, that I went live. I got notified that I was 30 minutes out, but I didn't get notified once I actually went live, which is very strange, but we know how my channel works. We know how this goes. So with that, man, hop in the comment section. Give me your thoughts. Let me know what you think. I'm going to, unfortunately, I know I put it in the chat. Forgive me. Please forgive me. I put it in the title, in the thumbnail. I'm going to cover the Charlie Kirk case in tomorrow. I could do it tomorrow. I could try to make time to do it tomorrow because I don't want to make this video too long. I try to be mindful of you all's time, but it's a lot going on with that. And so I'll cover that tomorrow. Gina caught me right before I was finna end. What's up, Gina? Thank you for the $50 super chat. Hi, Didi. I'm an hour late, so starting from the beginning, but didn't want to miss my chance to send you this to you, though. I'm sure it's an amazing video. Missed you big time. Thank you for your awesome content. Love and prayers for you and yours, for all of us. Thank you so much, Gina. One of my biggest supporters. I saw your comments on Patreon. You were asking me about something. I believe it was the OnlyFans video. I forget. But I meant to respond to you, so I'm going to try to remember to do that here as soon as this video ends. Thank you so much, as always. Again, as you can see, about 200 people joined. I'm going to have to try to find the algorithm, catch it again, and try to get caught up to date with a lot of these topics. I've been out of the loop. Pray for everybody mentioned in this video, including Karmelo Anthony, including the Metcalf family. Rest in peace once again to Austin Metcalf. And I'm going to catch you all in the next one. As always, peace.